Hello and welcome to Hanovi Global Network. I am your host, John Hanovi, and tonight I am mad. I am mad as hell and I am pissed off. And I have good reason to be pissed off. Just imagine 20 years ago, you worked your wazoo off in the design phase of a project. 20 years later, you find out that the structure has basically turned into a homeless shelter. And one of the malls located in the structure is so fed up that they are willing to break their lease to get out of the building. Yes, and I'm talking about the Fulton Street Transit Center. And Westfield, the owner of the mall in the transit center, is so fed up with the crime that they're willing to break their lease and get the heck out of the transit center. That just tells you how crazy it is that they're willing to break their lease, knowing that there'll be so much legal implications and consequences that they couldn't care less. They're like, look, this is unsustainable. We're out of here. So take a look at this and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Right now at 5:30, a war of words escalating tonight at one of New York City's largest transit hubs.
We're talking about the Fulton Center in Lower Manhattan. There's a mall inside. The operator says crime has gotten so bad there, they are breaking the lease and closing down shops. But the MTA says, not so fast. News 4's Erica Byfield breaks down both sides of the story.
There is a real tug of war happening here. Now the MTA is asking a judge to step in and force Westfield to stay. The shops are supposed to be part of Fulton Center's appeal. Retail upstairs, a transit hub that services 8 subway lines down below. But something's happened. Most of the shops are gone, some now filled with art.
It's a beautiful place, but it could be a little more well kept, and they need to do more in assisting the homeless.
Homelessness is part of the reason that Westfield, the mall operator, wants out. Its leaders say crime is also a big issue. So much so that some shop owners aren't renewing leases, others breaking them early.
I guess the homeless issue can become an issue at some point because of how mental health is kicking in.
On Wednesday, we saw homeless advocates near the turnstiles. The MTA is the landlord here. Its leaders told us they have confidence in the NYPD to deal with the crime, and they want Westfield to stay put. So the transit system is suing. The lawsuit filed in federal court last month says that the agency will face irreparable injury if Westfield abandons the Fulton Center, saying that there are 3 reasons that Westfield can break its 20-year lease, and crime and homelessness are not included.
Oh, okay.
The lawsuit includes a letter from the Westfield executive which says the current situation is financially unsustainable and Westfield is no longer in a position to be able to operate its premises at Fulton Center.
Someone has to do the work.
Westfield also operates the mall inside the Oculus, which is another transit hub. The MTA also tells us in the wake of 9/11, Fulton Center was a centerpiece of redevelopment in Lower Manhattan. That's part of the messaging that it hopes to persuade a judge to keep Westfield here.
I think something needs to be done just to make everybody happy. So
the MTA tells us that this is the busiest station in Lower Manhattan, and that obviously shows why they care so much about what happens here.
So imagine you can't break your lease even if people are robbing the heck out of you. Did you see the response of that dude? He's like, oh, okay. With all that was happening in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, yet still, malls weren't closing down because of shoplifting. There was crazy activities always in malls, but they weren't closing. But in 2024, it has gotten so ridiculous that malls are closing. Reason being, I heard that usually guys will come in with 2 shopping bags or laundry bags, fill it up, and walk out. And guess what? You can't do anything about it. Absolutely no business can survive that barrage of shoplifting. Well, way to go, New York City. You did it. Amazing. If you keep it up, New York City, you just might reclaim your old moniker, the Rotten Apple. There it is. This is actually the Fulton Street, the Day Street Concourse level. And there it is. Fulton Street Transit Center. That was 2004. August 2004. Still have the drawings. And that's something.